rejoice and be glad in it. I'm Dr. Charles Kenton. You've tuned into another edition of A Word Fitly Spoken. We've been talking about the 7 eternal words of Jesus. Yeah, we have. We started out talking about I am the bread. And now, today, we're going to talk about what he says in John. All of these words are found in the Gospel according to St. John. Today, I want to talk about this word where he says in John 10:7, I am the door of the sheep. I am the door. This is the way that you come. If you come to God in any other way, he calls it a thief and a robber. And the thief comes to steal, kill. Verse number 10 will say, I am the door. I've got an acronym for doors. Yeah, it's something that I've been studying for a while. And it's like this. It says doors in my book, A Word Fitly Spoken. It says when you consistently knock, doors are supposed to open. If we are not experiencing open heavens, then there's something wrong. Peter was therefore kept in prison, but constant prayer was offered to God for him by the church. They kept on knocking. They didn't stop. They kept on knocking. And so in verse number 7, it says, now behold, an angel of the Lord stood by him, and a light shined in the prison. And he struck Peter on the side and raised him up, saying, arise quickly. And his chains fell off his hands. Verse number 10 says, when they were past the first and second guard posts, they came to the iron gate that leads to the city, which opened to them on its own accord. Doors are only manifested when coupled with obedience. Yeah, doors are only manifested and coupled with obedience. Jesus says, I am the door of the sheep. I am the way that we get in to the family of God. And we need to recognize it. And he repeats it again in verse number 9 of John chapter number 10. Doors are distinct, obedient opportunities rarely seen. Doors. Are you faced with a door that is standing in front of you and you wonder whether or not this is really the plan of God, the obvious direction of God? Are you faced with an openness that is going to take you to another level, to another dimension? Its doors are distinct, obedient opportunities, rarely seen. Sometimes we don't see this. In the case of Peter, he went from one door to another door to another door. And then when he gets to the church where they're praying, he's knocking on the door and they don't recognize. They open the door, but they don't recognize him. And so they slam the door. I don't know if they were excited or if they were in unbelief. But doors are going to open. And my concern is that we be obedient. We be obedient because doors are like this. There's a one in a lifetime opportunity for some things that cross your path. And you got to ask yourself, is this God? Is this the way? Is this the things that I'm supposed to be doing at this time? And when doors open, distinct obedient opportunities rarely seen. Peter was in prison on lockdown, and the door opened. The angel came and nudged him. That's another story at another time. But the angel came and nudged him. He didn't grab him by the throat. He didn't slap him in the face. He just came alongside and nudged him. And he says, it's time to go. It's time to get out of this dark place. It's time to get out of this pathetic situation. And it takes someone that is an angel to come alongside and nudge you and I and says, come on, you don't have to stay here. You don't have to remain in this situation. There's more. And that's what the writer says in verse number 10 of John 10. He says, a thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But I've come, Jesus says, I've come to give you life and life more abundantly. It's time for us to experience the abundant life. It's time for us to recognize the importance of a door that's standing right there, staring us in the face. And we're wondering, what am I going to do with this? What's going to happen here? I want to encourage you today that God is still opening doors. He's still making ways. He's still cutting a path. He's still manifesting bread from heaven. He's still making things happen. And you need to stop saying, ain't nothing happening. Ain't nothing happening in my life. God doesn't know what I'm going through. It's distinct. It's a distinct opportunity, obedient opportunity. Many times we have opportunities, but we don't obey them. We have something that is staring us in the face and it's obviously going to take us out of darkness, and we go from one level of darkness, and the darkness is, I told you, demonic activity rarely known necessary to erode serious success. And now we don't want to continue to walk by faith because the angel, I mean, when angels show up, they don't show up because they got nothing else to do. They show up because they have instructions from headquarters. And when people are nice to you, when people open doors for you, when people make ways for you, they didn't have to. They didn't have to. And you and I need to recognize that and take advantage and move accordingly. Maybe it's something that you never thought you could do. I remember the doors that God has allowed for me to open in front of me. I was serving at my friend's birthday party for her husband, unemployed, didn't know what was going to happen next. And I just overheard somebody say, "My job is hiring. My job is hiring." And I said, "What job is that?" It was a good government job. And they opened the door for me. They opened the door for me just in a casual conversation. The door was open. And I could have been disobedient, or I could have been negative, I could have been doubtful and say, oh, well, that's not going to happen for me. Or I don't think that I'll be qualified, or I don't know if I'm able to do that. Distinct obedient opportunities rarely seen. Doors. When people come and they be nice, the scripture says, be careful how you entertain strangers. You may be entertaining angels unaware. They asked me one time, doors I'm talking about. Jesus is that door. He's orchestrating that door for you. They asked me if I would take someone around, this man and his son that's here from another country, and they're believers. Would you just take them around? And I said, sure. I was hospitable. I took them around, picked them up. We had a great time, 4 days, just enjoying Jesus, showing them around Dallas, Fort Worth. At the end of the 4th day, he said, Charles, you ought to come to Australia. And it just dawned on me. I said, oh, really? Never thought about it. 6 weeks later, I was headed to Australia. And it opened a door to another level, another dimension, another sight that I just did not see. I ended up going back and forth to Australia over 30 times over the years. And I enjoyed it. It was such a beautiful thing. I enjoyed Australia so much that I brought a piece of it back with me in my lovely wife, Julene. It's time for you to be obedient at this distinct obedient opportunities that are rarely seen. I'm giving people an opportunity. We have been blessed by God to do some great, and the scripture talks about exploits. The people that do know their God shall do great exploits. I'm here because God has opened up a door for me to broadcast all over the world. And if you are one of these people that you have a burden for those that are lost, you need to reach out to me. I think I can help you by the grace that God has given. There's a door that's got your name on it. You can either question it or you can be obedient. Doors are distinct obedience, obedient opportunities, rarely seen. Do you see the door? If you do, then let's move in that direction. Don't worry about all the things that has to happen, the issues that must take place, the resistance that you'll probably feel. Peter, all he had was just storms on the left and storms on the right. And he kept his eyes on Jesus, and Jesus said, "Come." There was a door for you to walk on water. There's a doorway for you to open up an avenue that just has never been seen before. That's what God is interested in, opening doors for you. There's an open heaven, the scripture calls it, for you and for us that are walking all we know and understand as it relates to the things of God. Intelligence, this is a quote in my book, intelligence is quickness to apprehend as distinct from ability. Let me read that to you again. Intelligence is quickness to apprehend as distinct from ability, which is capacity to act wisely on the thing apprehended. Things are staring you right in the face. Opportunities are there. And I'm asking you, are you going to take advantage of the opportunities, the doors? I've seen it so many times where somebody just mentioned something to me. And I said, if you hear what I'm saying, Moses, there was a bush burning. And God didn't call Moses out of the bush. It wasn't, hey, Moses, come over here, see this bush that's burning. Check this out, see what's going on. It wasn't until Moses stopped and turned aside. He stopped from his daily activity, his grind. He turned around and he saw this bush burning and it would not be consumed. I love this story because it requires for me to be obedient. Why is this bothering me? Why does this concern me? Why does I have a burden for the lost? Why do I have a burden to reach the lost? When he stopped and he turned aside, God spoke out of that bush and gave him marching orders for the rest of his life. What about you? Isn't it time for you to receive your orders? Your orders are our restriction determining every road. It's time for you to receive your orders from headquarters in order that you might open and walk through that door. It's going to be God. It's going to be Jesus. He's not going to make it clear. All of a sudden, you got to walk by faith and not by sight. I want to encourage you today. Doors are distinct obedience opportunities, rarely seen. Rarely seen. Philip is seeing himself moved by God to do great and mighty things, and so should you. You're more than what people say. God has deposited in you what is necessary for you to walk through that door. It's time for you to do that today. I got to go. God bless you. You all have a great day. Bye-bye.